Welcome to the Corona post-show, a massive finals day here in Peniche, Portugal. And the big news, well, the ocean didn't let us down. That thumping swell continued throughout a big day. We've got tons of talking points. We've got two brand new champions here, joining myself, Paul Evans, in the studio to talk you through it. Jesse Mendez, Strider Wazalewski. What a day of competition we've had.
Yeah, that was so impressive. I guess we saved the best for last, right? The conditions were amazing. We got waves, pretty solid waves this morning, and then just everything kind of lining up to the end beat of the event. So yeah, that was a great day.
No, Renato making an amazing call here. You know, we were looking at trying to finish tomorrow, and really today was the day. It was bigger, it was better. The conditions got just better all day long. So great call by the Tourism Commission's office. I'm really happy with what they did with it, and made it our job much easier because the waves were pumping.
Yeah, and the performances didn't let us down either. Obviously, the waves, we want them to be as big as possible and bring their energy in, but also surfers have got to deliver in the most important heats. And I really felt like everyone that surfed semis, finals really stepped up today. That was reflected in the scorelines.
Yes, they really did step it up. And I think that's also, when you come to finals day, everyone's bringing their A game. Everyone's pretty warmed up, dialed with their equipment. So it's almost more natural for you to expect that. And also the waves are delivering. So.
On the equipment talk too, like João Chianca, he broke his favorite board, and he was a little bit like, I'm going to ride this other board in the final, and but he switched it as he was in mid conversation to, this board's going to be killer. It's going to have the drive I wanted, and I was like, oh, there it was. It was all you needed was that bit of positivity coming out of that decision.
A historic moment just went down in terms of Caitlin Simmers. Let's check out her road to the final, getting that victory. The rookie, just 17 years old. And let's have a look at the bracket and how it all shaped up for her. And she served us notice early on with that performance against Sophie McCulloch, really, and particularly getting that, we're just paddling for that wave, ready to sacrifice her priority interference to get the score.
Well, she was losing otherwise. It was the last couple of seconds of the heat, and the fact that Sophie McCulloch, she was inside of her on the, sitting on the inside of her the whole heat, having priority, and then for the last second, she's like, oh, this thing's over, and she just drifted out and missed the wave and lost the heat in the last, 2 seconds, literally.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's going to sting her for a long time. Her being a competitive, knowing how close that was, and it was in her hands and just letting that slid, so that was a bummer for her.
Also, the semi-final, getting that excellent score early on. And we talked about just how different Caitlin Simmers' approach is. She offers us something different on land, but also in the water. And she just looked deadly throughout the day here today. Also, Strider, the judges giving her big numbers for her turns.
Yeah, well, there was some of them. This was that wave where she caught right at the end of that heat. I think there was 4 seconds on the clock when she caught this wave. She had to execute. She did the turn and really just sent it. And it was one of those interesting scenarios where she talked about it in her post-heat. That was what made her kind of click in and really become a champion. That's when she knew she could do big things as she moved on through the event.
Yeah, and just a tough road for her, a few times with her back against the wall. We can't forget the round 2 where she was losing to Tyler and Sally, and on the dying minutes, she just found a wave without priority and just turned the heat. So, yeah, great performance for her.
And as time will tell, she's just going to get better. She's just going to, be more established, more confident, and find herself in a position to where she's going to be getting deeper in the barrel. She's going to be having, a harder, more aggressive, powerful turns, and her technical surfing is pretty incredible. I mean, she's doing pop shove-its. Nobody's doing pop shove-its on the women's side.
Yeah, I actually don't think I've ever seen a pop shove-it from a woman before, and that was a proper one on the lip. She's so talented. She's just a freak of nature.
A generational shift is what we're witnessing here in Portugal. A rookie on tour, just 17, her third event of this season, and goes all the way for the win on the wrong side of a 9 as well at the start of that heat. Didn't look phased at all. And a brilliant performance from her. On the other side of that, Courtney Conlogue, she'll be a bit disappointed with the way that final played out because she pretty much had one hand on the trophy.
She blew it. She gave away the winning wave to the Grom, and she just capitalized on it, and she got a 6.33. If that score would have been on Conlogue's line, she would have won, and that's the fact. And then, so, as a veteran, and you make that mistake and you hand over a win when you desperately need it, that's going to sting for the rest of the year for her.
Caitlin Simmers, your champion here at the Mayo Rip Curl Pro Portugal in her rookie season on tour. Super impressive. That's what happened on the women's side. Let's start to turn our thoughts to, well, what happened with the men, and just unbelievable performances, big numbers coming through, big barrels being ridden, all the ingredients that you want at Super Tues. Massive crowd on the beach. Didn't disappoint us today.
Yes, and as you see right there, obviously, in my opinion, actually, the two best surfers of the event were there. We also got to give some credits to Callum Robinson to get that 10 in the second round and that giant cave that he found. But the performance from João and Jack throughout the whole event were just second to none.
I felt like Griffin Colapinto had a good showing too. He had some amazing, tube rides, and it was a tough go for him. He used up all of his mojo against Gabriel Medina, but João Chianca, by far, had the most energy and was the deepest tube rider of this finals day. Just beautiful work, and I mean the way that he was executing time and time again, the energy flow he had, Jesse, was incredible.
Yes, and I think this is just coming natural for him. He comes from Saquarema, in the middle of the beach of Saquarema. It's so similar to this very powerful wave with a lot of energy, a lot of backwash, which we've seen and here throughout the higher tide. And you just see he looks so comfortable out there.
He actually said, Sammy was in the water and he's looking out there and he's going, it's easy. They're out there. The waves are good. All you need is 2 good scores. This isn't hard work. This is easy work. Today is an easy job. And he obviously proved it.
Yeah, and I guess it's easy for him because everyone else probably thinking the opposite, saying like, hey, it's so tricky out there. There's a lot of water moving, and yeah, just check this out. Just so many good waves in one day.
But the mindset, if you're thinking like that, you're going to be like that. And that's exactly what it takes to be a champion. And I felt like you actually just pointed it out. The middle of the beach in Saquarema is a lot like this, almost exactly, because it has a lot of power. There's a lot of undulation to the face. It moves around a lot with the rips. And I mean, you're constantly, hitting backwash and getting wobbled off the board. This kid paddled by me and said, I'm going to be on tour. And here we are. When he was a super drum when we were at Saquarema, and he is winning events on the CT. I'm just so proud of him.
Really stepping up on the biggest stage of all. Interesting, you see some young surfers get on tour. It takes them a couple of seasons to just kind of find their feet and find their position. He's like, you know what? You think about top guys, you're looking at him. I'm there. I'm worthy of his shot. And tell you what, he'll be backing himself for a spot in the final 5.
Yes, and for everyone that didn't have him in thoughts, now I'm sure like half of these people or even more are just thinking him as a big threat for being in the top 5.
I feel like also the rest of the tour, John Florence, Kelly Slater, everybody, on the men's side, just sitting back going, whoa, okay, time to change up the game plan a little bit. Need a little more energy. Going to have to come a little stronger. Going to have to come a little bit more elevated into these events, because these guys are turning it up to a level of now, the next. And I think everybody on tour, the veterans, are feeling that.
Let's go down to Kaipo Guerrero with the awards presentation.
All right, thank you, and thank you all for coming out here. This is the awards presentation for the Mayo Rip Curl Pro Portugal, presented by Corona. Thank you so much for coming here. Beautiful beach crowd. I appreciate all of you. Give us a hand. Beautiful. Some of the best surf fans in the world. This is the 3rd stop of the World Surf League Championship Tour, and we couldn't have asked it for a better crowd, better surf, better performances. It's been tremendous, hasn't it, Luisa?
Vamos falar português agora, galera. Boa tarde, Portugal. Bem-vindos à premiação do Mayo Rip Curl Pro Portugal de 2023, a 3ª etapa do circuito mundial. Foi uma etapa eletrizante, a gente viu coisas emocionantes e inesquecíveis, uma nota 10, João Chiubinho ganhando, Caitlin Simmers, foi incrível. Homenageamos as mulheres. Mão pra cima quem tem mulher aí. É isso aí.
Of course, we want to thank Mayo, Rip Curl, and Visit Portugal, our title sponsors for this event.
Oh, go for it. You gave it to me, Kaipo. There we go.
Also, we'd like to
Mayo,
acknowledge on
Rip Curl.
stage Rip Curl President Mathieu Lefeu, From Mayo, Miguel Guerra, and from Tourism Portugal, Lidio Monteiro. Thank you all for joining us, and thank you all for all your support. We really appreciate it.
Muito obrigado a todos os sponsors, os patrocinadores. A gente quer agradecer também os outros patrocinadores. Corona, Yeti, Shiseido, Red Bull, Craft, 1861, True Surf, Surfline, Oeste Portugal, EDP, Millennium Bank, Joaquim Chaves Saúde, and Hertz.
All right. Thank you again to the city of Peniche, the local community here, the surfers who shared this incredible place. Also, our We Are One Ocean partners, the Hope Zones Foundation, Sea Foresta, as well as Peniche Surf Club. Thank you for our WSL Pure grantees for all the help that they've been doing. We can't get enough of thanking all the thousands and thousands of you that came. We were breaking records here, 50,000 strong. Give yourselves another big hand. We love you, Portugal. We love the surf fans over here.
O nosso muito obrigada à cidade de Peniche, à comunidade local, os surfistas, né, que dividiram essa maravilha com a gente, e também todos os nossos parceiros da We Are One Ocean, a Hope Zone Foundation, Sea Forester e o Peniche Surf Club. E claro, a gente não vai cansar de agradecer a vocês, essa torcida maravilhosa que chegou aqui, ficou durante a semana inteira, compareceu com sol, com chuva, com neblina e fez dessa etapa uma etapa histórica.
To help with handing out the trophies, we have Renato Hickel from the WSL, Director of Tour Competitions. Thank you, Renato.
Obrigada, Renato, diretor da WSL de Tour Competition.
All right, let's bring up his 6th CT World Championship final. He's in the yellow leader jersey. Our runner-up this year at the Male Rip Curl Pro Portugal. Let's bring to the stage Jack Robinson. Come on up here, Jack. Jack, I'm going to ask you a question. What's it like? You're going to keep that yellow jersey on into the next event, stop number 4 at Bells.
Muito quente. Yeah, it's snow. It's nice and warm. Yeah, super stoked. You know, really, muito gratidão aqui em Portugal, and super stoked. Pessoas de Portugal, cidade de Portugal, obrigado. Valeu, muito valeu. Yeah.
Let's give it up for Jack Robinson, everyone.
Good job.
Grande Jack, aprendendo a falar português.
All right, let's bring our women's runner-up. She's a veteran of the championship tour. She started that final with a 9 to erupt the crowd. Santa Ana's Courtney Conlogue.
That's cute.
Courtney, I'm going to have you come over here. You know, tough Hawaii leg, but you're on the comeback right now in the finals here, stop number 3.
Yeah, I'm just honestly so grateful to get a result finally, and tricky conditions, but was very grateful to share the final with Katie, and yeah, off to Bells.
You're going to another place that you're pretty comfortable at. You got a few of those bells.
Yeah, I definitely have a few at my home, but you know, just keep manifesting good results.
Let's give it up for Courtney Conlogue.
O Caibo perguntou para Courtney como é que ela está se sentindo depois de ganhar essa premiação. Ela falou que ela tem muita gratidão por Portugal, e daí ele falou como é que você está se sentindo indo para uma onda que agora ela vai para Bells, uma onda que ela manja muito, e ela falou que ela só está manifestando bons resultados.
Now let's bring up our men's champ, Chumbinho, on fire. His first CT win, João Chianca. How's it this feel, João? How's this feel?
Oh man, if 4 years ago someone came to me and tell me like, hey, you're gonna qualify, you're gonna fall off, and then you're gonna requalify and just like have a crazy run and like ended up winning our very first event in 2 months, and that's it. Obrigado, Portugal!
Inglês, vou fazer questão de traduzir o que o João falou. Perguntou, João, como é que você está se sentindo com essa vitória? Ele falou, olha, se alguém me falasse há 4 anos que eu ia me qualificar, cair do Tour, me requalificar e 2 anos depois ganhar em Portugal, eu não ia acreditar. E agradecer o carinho de vocês.
All right, congratulations. Now it's time to bring the exciting rookie on tour. She's already won an event. Katie Simmers is your champ. This is a big trophy. It's okay, we're going to test the trophy right here. It's a big trophy. Yeah. All right. I don't think you should hold it. Grab it. Yeah. All right. Hold it up for Katie. Let's get this. 1, 2, 3. Katie Simmers! Lift it up. Yeah. Oh, okay. Someone help Katie right now. You good? I don't want to just drop it on your toes. Grab that thing. That's a valuable piece of equipment there, Katie. That's your first CT trophy for your first CT win. How you feel?
Yeah, that thing's heavy. I don't know. I'm just really grateful for everyone here, and Portugal is really cool, and I'm grateful for surfing, and I don't really know what else to say. Thank you. Thanks to...
Great job, everybody. Let's celebrate with Katie Simmers. Such a wonderful job. All of our finalists here, all the support that you give. Mayo and Rip Curl, thank you so much. I'm going to send it back to the Corona post-show right now. We'll continue with this show. And thank all of you. Obrigado, obrigado, obrigado.
Obrigada, Portugal. Valeu.
Back to you, Paul.
Great scenes there on the stage. Absolutely love it. Brilliant to see Caitlin Simmers just enjoying the moment, relishing in it. And this is a moment to savor, right? You don't know how many of these are going to come along. You might go on and win, multiple events, dozens of them, world titles maybe, but at the same time, a win in the CT in Portugal. These are moments you're going to remember for the rest of your life, career-defining moments.
Yes, and actually, even though if you ended up being one of the best surfers in the world for a long time, these moments are still going to be only a very few throughout the year and throughout the career. So for those 2 guys, brand new feelings, just embrace it and take it to the next one.
Strider, 2 new champs on the CT, new blood, new talent.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about the reality of the pendulum shift and the youth coming in and the energy that they're bringing, and just a shift in momentum. And I feel like you could kind of see it coming a little bit through the beginning of the year. We saw it last year with the type of surfing, like say João was doing. It was incredible. He just wasn't getting the results, but the points were there, right? Those totals were there, and I was so blown away by how well he surfed. And then to see him come out firing like that this year, and to see Caitlin come in and really kind of click into gear on finals day, it just went in my mind, and it shifted. And then surfers used to come on tour and think, all right, I'm happy to be here. Now these rookies are coming on tour and they want to win a world title. And that is a huge difference in perception and confidence, and something that these athletes are bringing. And it's a big shift in that energy towards these young surfers.
Top 3 of the championship tour all wrapped up. It's time to have a look at our rankings and see where we are coming out of Portugal as we head into Australia. And let's check it out. There's the leaderboard right there. Jack Robinson still in yellow.
And on the men's side right here, you see the top 2 just with the huge gap in after Felipe being in 3rd place. It's almost like if Felipe gets a 3rd place, or like a 3rd place in Bells, and Jack Robinson doesn't even surf the event, he's still going to be in the lead in front of Toledo. So, yeah, that's a huge gap for him right there.
I can't wait to see. There's 5 surfers in the top 10 from Brazil. That's insane. These guys are so incredibly dominant in our sport. It's wild.
Callum Robson, Yagadora also making significant moves up the rankings there. We are heading down under to Australia for our next event at Bells Beach. And let's remind ourselves of exactly what happened down there last year. One of the iconic stops on tour, Toledo, en route to his title. That was much later in the year, but showing notice of his form at Bells.
Yeah, the way Felipe is able to just cut through water. And so once you go to those venues that it's an open canvas, it's just so impressive how much speed and how much drive and power he can get through the waves. And he's going to be definitely one of the favorites.
From what we've seen this year so far, who you guys fancying for Bells Beach? Who's your picks real quick?
Go ahead, Stride.
That is a really tough call for me because I'm confused with the amount of talent that's on tour right now. But I'm going to go with Griffin Colapinto. Just how smooth and how well he surfs on the open face. I think he's going to be right there with Toledo coming into the final.
Jesse, you got a name for us for Bells?
Yes, I would say Felipe is my name.
All right, yeah, pretty safe bets. They're not really going too far out on a limb, guys. I see what you're doing. Let's turn our attention to the women's ratings now. And once again, we've shaken that up here in Portugal big time. Let's see where we are. We've still got Molly Picklum in yellow. She's all alone in yellow now, though.
Yeah, like on the girls' side, you see a little bit more tightness in the rankings. From first to third, right there, you see Carissa and Caitlin actually tied up, and Molly with a little slight advantage. So yeah, we're gonna see a lot of movement throughout this ranking.
Casting our mind back to Bells Beach last year, it was a historic win for Tyler Wright. We saw it in season 2 at Make or Break, how much it meant to her to get that win. And she looked deadly at a spot she's had a relationship with since, well, traveling there with her family really as a young girl. She was impressive at Bells.
Yeah, Tyler's one of those open-face surfers that really has a lot of power, knows that wave really well and where to place her turns. I think that's the most important thing about, Bells Beach is that there's a certain place to turn in that pocket and you have to be there every time or you're not going to get the big numbers. And she's got the recipe for Bells Beach, and I love watching those power hacks.
Yes, I'm with you. I think it's such a tricky wave, and there's a lot of moods, right? Like the tide gets too high sometimes, so the wave kind of just stops. So for her, growing up and probably competing there as an amateur is a big advantage, and yeah, just it fits her very well, that wave.
All right, have we got a name who we fancying just from here? Obviously, we're still a long way out, but who do you like to go for a win this year, looking at the form?
I have to pick Tati, always.
Well done, mate. Well played, Jesse.
I'm going to go with Carissa Moore. I feel like she's going to come strong with a lot of power surfing. She's going to be a little upset with her finish here. I feel like she's going to come around that corner and do some really big open face turns. That's really going to impress us.
All right, well, that's it for our ratings for the surfers. Now let's turn our attention to the equipment, the Shaper rankings. Who's making the best boards for Championship Tour surfers? Of course, points awarded as they are for surfers. Check it out.
Wow, we've got a little flip in the script. Mayhem was #1 coming in, but Sharp Eyes back up on top. DHD in third. Channel Islands making a little run, though. They had us, obviously with a win here, and Pazel in 5th.
Yes, and I guess we have a little battle here going on, Stride. I'm going for Sharp Eye, you're going for Mayhem. Sharp Eye taking the lead as we speak.
Yeah, that's okay. It's not for long. Next event will coming around the corner. We got Griffin and Carissa Moore winning that, so it's going to be all good at Bells.
Good call, good call.
But it's all fun and games here in the studio, but I'll bet you money that the Shapers are taking this 100% serious, as they should.
I actually know probably half of those guys right there, or even more, probably actually all of them, and they're very serious and they're very competitive.
Yeah, I want to see a surf off as well.
That would be awesome. Maybe at lowers on the finals day.
It's been a really, really fun event here in Portugal. We've been impressed with big barrels and big performances, and we're looking forward greatly to all the drama that's coming up down under as well. Bells Beach and Margaret River, and of course the cuts. But before we get into that, let's remind ourselves of the top 5 moments from the Mayo Pro Portugal. And let's get into them.
Ooh, that tough battle right there. Buzzer beater for Caitlin. It feels like she had a few of those in this event. So just very good dealing with pressure with her back against the wall.
Yeah, that's where things changed, and she decided, okay, I'm going to go all the way and take the win. Unfortunately for McCulloch, it was at her expense.
Looked like Callum also, and that was also kind of a mistake from João Duro, letting that wave go with 1 minute left. And Callum actually mentioned that he knew he would only have one chance, and whatever he would give him, he would give his best, and it turned out to be okay for him.
It's all about the buzzer beaters, wasn't it? And of course, Callum Robson getting that important result, as did this guy, Samuel Pupo. Got it over Ian Gentile.
Loving these last second heroics, and this was literally dying seconds of the heat. The score came out on the beach while they're both standing there, one in the shower, one on the stairs. Sammy Pupo just really putting the pressure on it really right at the end of that heat. And the way that he performed under pressure was beautiful.
Yes, that was so impressive, and actually, 9 seconds and not the greatest wave, right? So that was amazing from him.
Moment number 4, super by name, tubing by nature. Some people got barreled out here.
Yes, and it started kind of slow in the barrel. We had one barrel from Molly, and then we kind of went into kind of a low, and then the boys just start flaring up as the conditions got better, and yeah, that was a beautiful day for us.
Wow. Italo Ferreira just getting piped all the way across. Jack Robinson started it, and then Italo capitalized on it, and then this guy, Griffin Colapinto. I mean, this is just a fire hose out of the end of this thing, Jesse. I thought he was going to get spit off his board.
Yeah, that was crazy. I think that was actually, I was just going to mention, that was probably one of the most intense wave we had all day long. And like you said, it almost feels like he's going to get bucked off the board because there's so much energy inside that barrel. And it was just great to see that huge spit.
And it was up against Gabriel Medina.
Extra pressure, right?
Then there's this guy just gliding and flying out of the barrel with style and technique. I mean, this kid was on fire this whole event on the finals day and really having a great time doing it.
Number 3, a perfect 10 for this guy, Callum Robson. Massive barrel, huge spit. What a moment this was.
And there's all the barrels in the event, and then just 2 steps ahead of everyone is that barrel from Callum. Just the intensity, the drop, how big that wave was. That was incredible from him.
I would have went over the handlebars for sure on that drop. That was just ridiculous, and the core power to pull it up. Just getting those toenails into the wax to get it going was just incredible.
That was amazing. I don't even think I would have paddled for that wave, actually.
Well, at number 2, this guy, rookie on tour last year, fell off, came right back through the Challenger Series and came back hard. Brilliant in Hawaii, even better than that in Portugal. He's our champion.
Yeah, best waves we've had on tour so far, I feel, on the finals day. And it was just beautiful to see everything come together here today for João. That man just feeling the beautiful, victorious moment up the beach.
Feeling the love here in Portugal. At number 1, Caitlin Simmons, under a bit of pressure in this one. And you always wonder how the youngsters are going to react. She reacted in the best possible way. Got the win.
Yes, for sure. And obviously, she has so much belief in herself, but everything's happening so quick to her that it almost feels like a dream, I'll bet you. Like she's probably in disbelief that this is actually happening.
Yeah, you could tell during her interviews or post-heat interview on stage there when she accepted her trophy, nothing was even real yet. And, but I feel like the most beautiful thing about life is that your dreams are your realities. And if you can think it, you can do it. And I feel like that's something that she's probably obviously dreamed about, wanted her whole life, and now it's happening. And the realities can keep happening if you keep dreaming.
Well, we've already started to look ahead towards Bells Beach. We saw our winners from last year, and that'll be stop 4 on the championship tour. Starts on April the 4th. Really looking forward to that. Guys, final thought, big takeaway from the event here in Peniche. Generational shift?
Oh, definitely. Generational shift and all the moods from Super Tubes. Like, you get everything thrown at you.
Yeah, I feel my thought is that Portugal delivers, and it always has, and it continued to do it on finals day for us here. So thank you to Portugal, and once again, I can't wait to come back here because it's always a pleasure.
A really, really fun event for all sorts of reasons. Always great to finish on a big day as well, seeing everyone getting tubed. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you at Bells Beach, WorldSurfLeague.com.
He's really athletic.
Just jams one in a high line pocket, and then a big float hit from him, and he's fired up. Just relentless from Molly, and she'll tag it. Great surfing from her.
Slashing off the top. Carissa Moore needs a 7.17. Hacks a big layback. And it looks like the Portuguese wild card is going to take down Carissa Moore.
What kind of confidence do you have going into that next round? I don't know. I hope that we get super tubed.
Just hits it over the foam. Wow, really nice.
Griffin Colavento is disguised back there behind the rowing machine.
And then it goes massive backside rotation, tail high.
Today is going to be our biggest, best day of the entire waiting period.
Yeah, I'm on my game all day, the same all day. Took me a long time, but never quit.
Caitlin gets it.
Wow,
Here we go.
are you kidding me?
Caitlin Simmers snaps
Oh my
underneath the
God.
lip. 5.1. Caitlin Simmers turns it in the final 10 seconds.
That was so rad.
Absolutely.
I love surfing. I love
Caitlin
surfing.
Simmers on to the semifinals.
But I can lay the bars down, give you a cool 8 or 16 or 24. Maybe more smart like Professor.
Jack in the bubble. Little shower there through the foam ball. No problem. Jack Robinson. Oh my, Ferreira. Coming through that barrel right there.
Turn the beat up, turn it up.
Nice,
Oh
did
my
get absolutely blasted out by a massive spin.
And that's why these blockers frontin', cause they always on the block, and I'm leaving the parking lot across the world, and they not going anywhere.
We have our men's and women's finals all set up.
Climb many stairs, one of a kind man, but not often a kind man. I'm always on the pitch.
João Chianca is male Rip Curl Pro Portugal champion. 17-year-old Katie Simmers wins the male Rip Curl Pro Portugal presented by Corona.
This copyrighted event broadcast is produced by the World Surf League for broadcast around the world and may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the written consent of the World Surf League.